curious about your thoughts with the AD fit for Dallas, because I think Lakers fans hold AD in a special regard, whether it's Mike Trudell, like, who, loves AD. I text with him sometimes. He's always like, dude, you underrate AD. Everybody underrates AD. Every Lakers fan in my life knows that AD is a truly special talent. Now, I feel like nationally, the conversation with him is sometimes about durability, and understandably so, until recent years. But with AD now going to Dallas, you have Nico Harrison talking about defense wins championships. I think some of the things he said were absolutely foolish, as I talked about with Jason Gallagher on the podcast earlier this week. But to Nico Harrison's point, their roster does have some balance. AD, an elite defensive player who looked like an MVP candidate earlier this season, paired with Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford. AD himself talked about wanting to be a 4 next to a 5. Kyrie playing basketball on an all-star level with a bunch of really good wings on that roster, adding Max Christie to the mix. I feel like there's a chance the Mavericks look better this season. Would you agree with that, considering the talent that AD has and brings to that Mavericks roster?
Better than the Lakers? Like toward the end of the season,
better than Dallas would have, having not made a trade.
You mean
there's a chance
than having Luka Doncic on their team?
A chance.
Yeah.
A chance.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but a chance.
There is a chance. Their defense will be nasty. And Kidd was a Lakers assistant on that 2020 team, and a very underrated part of the brain trust of the defensive schemes. And Dallas just kicked the Lakers' butts not too long ago without Luka or Kyrie, as a function of how together they were on the defensive end. The thing about AD is that he's a dirty work superstar, in that he's a very unusual type of superstar, in that I can't think of another player who considers himself a 4 who is not a either 3-point threat at high volume or a ball handler. The only non-3-point threat 4s that I can think of are Giannis and Zion. And those are the guys that can rack it. They can get to the basket off of the dribble. AD can do that, but it's not like the best thing that he's at. But he is such a complete player, and this is part of the reason why Laker fans defend him, that he can fill in the gaps. And sometimes the motor's turned off or he's hurt, right? So he can be a frustrating player for sure. But he can so completely dominate a game in so many different facets. There's a version of him that's Wilt Chamberlain. There's a version of him that's Bill Russell, that's dominating with a 15 and 23 with 8 stock type of performance. He can be a few different things. My concern with Dallas, and again, I don't follow them the way that other people do, but I saw Kyrie struggling as a second guy once it really got turned up defensively to a degree where it's like, now that's your top guy. And I've seen that happen with AD. That's one of the downsides of him as a superstar, is he's a good on-ball player, but kind of matchup dependent. You can, like a bigger player that can move his feet enough, and he's not the athlete that he was when he joined the Lakers, AD, that, you can kind of take away his ISOs a little bit. He becomes he's great in the pocket on pick and rolls and things like that. So that's kind of where I go with that, Kev.
I agree with you 100%. Kyrie in the finals last year against Boston, everybody talks about Luka getting roasted on defense, the windy moment after one of the games. You're like, the champions are in that tunnel, the losers are in this tunnel, about Luka's approach to the game. All fair, but Kyrie stunk. He really struggled when the defense got to that level. And like you said, AD at times when he's asked to be that primary, he's better as that elite top of the line finisher for you who fills gaps in so many different ways. And so for the Mavs, yes, there's some roster balance. Yes, they could have an elite defense, but we just saw the NBA championship won last year by the team with the greatest offensive rating in history. In today's day and age, offense is what really wins championships. Defenses support that run. So for the Dallas Mavericks, I do worry about what their offensive upside can be once it comes to the playoffs. And I think for them, using some of those assets they got from the Lakers, they have to find another ball handler. It can't just be Spencer Dinwiddie as that second guy behind Kyrie Irving as an offensive initiator. You need to find someone better if you're Dallas.
I mean, is there somebody available like that at the deadline? I think that's an offseason problem for them too. Yeah, I don't really get it from their perspective, frankly. The one thing I will say is that there was such a reaction to the deal of like, you got so little back. Who would you have off the top of your head as players who are worse than Luka, but better than AD in the league? Sorry to put you on the spot, but
Anthony Edwards. I mean, it's like a slim. It's like the third best player. Luka to like what, the 9th or something like that.
Something like that, right? And then my follow-up question:
Tatum, something like that. You know,
or is Minnesota trading Anthony Edwards? No. Is Boston trading Tatum? I mean, is Dallas trading Luka Doncic? Yes, apparently. So I understand anything is possible, but you see what I'm saying, right? In terms of like, if your goal was to compete now from Dallas's perspective, and you decided we need to trade Luka Doncic, which is insane.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Let's take that as a given part of the argument.
Yes,
AD is probably the best player you could get back in return, and I know that future first-round picks that convey in 2048 are the currency of the realm in online discussions about trades, but actually good players right now have a lot of value to people whose assets are on the line in terms of what type of GM they might not be GM of that team in 2048. They want players who are good now, and obviously if Nico Harrison is going to do something like this, he has to deliver very quickly.
Oh boy.
Good luck.
Nico Harrison. Good luck, man. There's a chance, but I'm not betting on that chance for Dallas, man.